What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. First of all, before I go too far into the video, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Knights of Teleria podcast. Last Sunday was one of the best and biggest shows we've had, and it's all because of you guys. So huge shout out to you guys, and thank you for joining us every Sunday there. All right, let's get into today's topic of the video, and that is going to be Clan Boss. Now, Image Time, right, or Imagine Time, asked me to do a Clan Boss takeover for him. Now, let's be a little honest here. This account is not endgame, right?
What do you mean by that?
We've got 3.4 million player power. We've got some champions, right? We are totally free to play, and so resources are definitely very limited. We've been talking about this account takeover for almost a month now, right? He's been looking to try to move into a Nightmare Clan Boss team, or Ultra Nightmare. And the problem we had was just not having the resources, right? We did pull the Mytha on the account about a week ago, but we had already set a plan in motion to put a Maneater team. And so we went with that instead, finding out that we had to like a week before the free gear removal was kind of big, but it's definitely, you know, it's not the builds on the account can definitely be improved, right? We're not working with a lot of big pieces here. Let me see here. We've got 4-star gear that we're still utilizing on the account, right? We are going to be doing a dragon takeover for him to try to get some speed gear and stuff like that, so keep an eye out for that soon. But with this team, it's going to be a very interesting composition. It's called the Man Seeks God. So if you're looking for it on the Deadwood website, you can go find it there. I will put a link in the description below. And then, you know, it's not the easiest speed tune run, but let's go ahead. Let's get into the builds. Let's get into the run. And then I'm going to share some things that you're going to need to know at the end.
You seriously not following? Unbelievable.
All right. So the team that we're going to be working with is Septimus, Maneater, Rathalos, Godseeker, and Seeker. We did put Septimus in the lead. He brings in all battles aura for increased attack, which is probably the best one that we currently have. Now, before we took over this account, he was doing about a 3-key nightmare team. He was doing between 14 to 17 million damage, right? And so let me see actually if we have the team that he was using before. I think it was one of the Sathalia teams. I think it was one of them, but I might even say it was, I don't know. It wasn't a good team. We'll just put it that, right? But let's go ahead and get on with this team. Now, this team is going to require some setup for Nightmare, right? And basically what we have to do is we have to turn off Seekers, or I guess push back Seeker's A2 4 turns, right? So we've got to go in and we got to open up with the A3 on Maneater, right? A1 on Seeker. We can go ahead and use the A2 here on Godseeker to extend. We will not be using Rathalos's A3, right? And I'll show that in just a little bit here. We're going to turn that off on the AI setup. I'll show that. But A2 here. Septimus, we can go with A1. All right, now Maneater can come in with the A2. Seeker, this is the second turn, so we got to make sure, right? So we got 2 more turns. Rathalos A1. A1 with Septimus. There we go. Take the damage. All right, this is the 3rd turn with Seeker, right? A1, Rathalos, A1, we got the increase, or the decreased defense, that's perfect. A1 with Maneater. Septimus, we can go with the A3 now. All right, this is the 4th turn, so we can go A1 here, and then we can hit full auto. Now, the stun target is going to be either our Septimus or Rathalos. And now the reason why this team is actually pretty cool is because when either one of those guys dies, most likely will be Septimus because he's in the lead and we're on Void. Godseeker is going to revive him, and she's going to, it doesn't matter whether she revives him via her passive or via the A3, the speed tune will not break. But again, this speed tune is very, very tight. And we do have Septimus here that is going to have a 30% chance of increasing the duration debuff. So there's a very good likelihood that that decreased defense is going to be up almost all of the time. So I'm going to go ahead and take myself off the camera. And then I'll let this finish playing out. And I'll be back at the end of this and we'll go through a couple more things. All right, so we got 39.28 million. 39.1 is what we need for a 1 key. So pretty close, right? There's definitely a lot of room for improvement in this in this account, guys. It's, you know.
You naughty. You teasing me, you naughty.
Let's go ahead. Let me move my camera over here real quick. So we got Septimus, who came in at 15.3 million. Rathalos, who came in at 10, right? Maneater came in at 5.2. Godseeker came in at 3.2, and then Seeker came in at 5.1. You can see here we don't have a lot of things on the account. We don't have blessings. We're missing blessings, so it's not that, you know, not that bad. But we can definitely have a lot of room for improvement. So let's go ahead, break down the AI setup and all of the champions builds. Okay, so let's start off with Rathalos first. Rathalos, we've currently got in a perception and cruel. He did need the perception piece. Now I'll break this down in just a minute here when we go through the AI setup along with, you know, the tune on the calculator. The speed tunes for this are very, very tight. If you want to try to make them work, you're going to want to mess around with the calculator before you start messing with the builds, right? But Rathalos does not have any refresh accessories on, right? He's built for straight out nukage. As for Clan Boss, we do have some stuff on here, right? And the most important thing is the speed. We have him at 191 speed, 4.1, almost 4.2k attack, 106 crit rate, 230 crit damage. We don't care about accuracy or resistance, right? Booking situation on him, we actually have no books. We did take cruelty because we need some sort of cruelty, and we can't really put brimstone on him because he doesn't have accuracy. The masteries are as follows. We went offense and defense. Do not go support because you don't want to take something that can mess it up, right? Again, the speed tune is very, very... It's... just follow the guide. All right, so we went ahead and we took War Master, Methodical, we took Bring It Down along with Wrath of the Slaying, we took Life Drinker with Single Out, Heart of the Glory, Keen Strike, and Deadly Precision. As for the defense tree, we did go down and we took Tough Skin. We did take Blast Proof. We did take Resurgent, right? We did also take Delay of Death, and we took Retribution along with Deterrence. Now, we did make a little bit of a hiccup here where we took Life Drinker. We actually weren't supposed to. So you could have taken Wrath of the Death, or you could have taken something else on this side, like Bloodthirst or something, but you actually don't want to have Life Drinker on here because he is one of the stun targets. Septimus. All right, so Septimus was actually one of the perfect ones to bring in. And again, we did need to put one perception set on him. So we did have him build with a Perception and Cruel. Now, the stats for him on Clan Boss are 191 speed. It's actually 191.25 or 24, I think it is. But we have him built with 4.7k attack, 100% crit rate, 244 crit damage, trying to maximize that, A2 of his. And then we don't have accuracy or resistance. We don't really need it, right? We do have him fully booked, and that's the main reason why we did pick him, or else we would have probably brought in like a Geomancer if our Geomancer had books, right? Masteries wise, we did go ahead and we took basically, this is the tree that you want to take, right? For Rathalos as well. But we did go ahead and take War Master, we did take Methodical along with Kill Streak, we did take Wrath of the Slaying, we did take Bring It Down with Single Out, we did take Wrath of Whirlwind of Death, sorry. You want to make sure you skip Life Drinker on him, right? We did take Keen Strike. We did take Grim Resolve along with Deadly Precision. As for the defense, we took Tough Skin. We did take Rejuvenation along with Resurgent and Delay of Death with Retribution. Godseeker and Eerie. Now, the Regen and Immortal is not needed, but I wanted to build this champion in a way that could be used in other areas of the game for right now because we are very limited in the champions that we have and what we can do, right? So, Godseeker came in at a Regen and Immortal set. It is very important that she is not the stun target, right? So you have to make sure that, she's built to be able to keep herself sustained. So throwing a couple of Immortal sets on her or a Regen set is not a bad idea, right? She's not going to do insane amount of damage, but you don't want her taking the stun. As for the total stats on her, we are looking at 47k HP, 2.2k defense, 206 speed. The speed on this can be a little higher. I believe it can go all the way up to 214, but 67 crit rate. We didn't really build her for damage. 74 crit damage. We don't care about resistance or accuracy on her build. As for skills, we do have her fully booked. Ideally, you need the A3 and the A4, and the passive fully booked. It does work well for if you're going to build her in Sand Devils, right? You can still use the same Godseeker, not the same build, but the same Godseeker for that. Miracle here is what we had, so we just let it be, right? As for masteries, we did go down and we took War Master along with Methodical. We did take Bring It Down with Wrath of the Slain. We did actually take Life Drinker here, right? Because if we did not have those Regens and Immortal sets, it would be very important for her to heal back up so she's not the stun target. We did go ahead and take Single Out along with Heart of the Glory, Keen Strike, and Deadly Precision. As for the defense tree, we went down, we took Tough Skin, we took Blast Proof along with Resurgent and Delay of Death with Retribution, and we did take Deterrence. Maneater. Now, Maneater is a very, very finicky build. The triple speed sets are pretty much needed for this, right? So because of the true speed, you definitely want to just try to follow this as best as possible. So triple speed sets are pretty much required. Coming into the stats, we're looking at 43k HP, 2.7k defense. So actually with him, you want to be a little tanky at the start, right? So he doesn't take the stun. 254 speed. I believe true speed is at like 254.5 54 or something like that. 97% crit rate, 108 crit damage. We don't care about resistance or accuracy, right? Skills wise, we do have them fully booked on the A2 and the A3, which is what's needed. We don't really care about the A1. If you really wanted to, you could. As for masteries, now for him, we did go down the offense and support tree. And if you're having problems with either Godseeker, Maneater, or your Seeker taking the stun, taking Steadfast is actually one of the things you want to do because the clan boss takes it as a buff. So for the support tree, we did go ahead and we took Steadfast. We did take Exalted in Death. We did take Swarm Smiter along with Lord of Steel. And we did take Spirit Haste. Spirit Haste will never come into play, right? As for Deadly Precision, we did take that along with Grim Resolve because we're going to be below 50% HP, so we want to boost our damage. We did go ahead and take Keen Strike along with Life Drinker. Very important that we take Life Drinker to heal back up. We did take Single Out along with Cycle of Violence and bring it down. We did also take Methodical, and we did take Kill Streak, with War Master being the final tier 6 mastery. Last but not least is Seeker. Now, Seeker must have these 3 sets. His speed is got to be at exactly this number, or else it fails, right? It's like 217.50. And the only way to really get to that true speed is by having a speed set and perception set on him. So, and the immortal set is actually very helpful to make sure that he's not the stun target. So you don't really need to build him out in like pure damage. You can see here, we're working with very minimal builds. So as for the stats, we have him built with 40k HP, 2.3k attack, 2.4k defense, 218 speed. With the perception and the speed set, it's actually 217. We have him built with 100% crit rate, 122 crit damage. We don't care about accuracy or resistance. As for skills, we do have him fully booked on the A3. We don't really care on the A1. He can do a little bit of damage, but it's not really necessary. As for masteries, we did the same thing here. We took Steadfast, right? Making sure that he's going to have that extra buff so the clan boss does not take him as the stun target. Exalted in Death, we did take Swarm Smiter along with Lord of Steel and Sniper. Now on the offense tree, we did go ahead and take Deadly Precision with Grim Resolve. We did take Keen Strike along with Life Drinker. Single Out, we did take Cycle of Violence right there. Bring it down with Keen Strike and Methodical, and the final tier 6 mastery was War Master. It is worth saying that you don't really need to farm the second and third, fifth tier mastery. You can pretty much ignore those. They're not going to do much for you, right? So,
You seriously not following? Unbelievable.
all right. So a couple of things that you're going to want to take into account with this. Now, on Nightmare Team, it's pretty much going to be the same thing. You have to delay Seeker's A2 by 4 turns, right? So you're going to follow this path right here, right? Making sure that you open up with Maneater's A3, and then just kind of prioritize everything else. The damage dealers doesn't really matter what they use, and Godseeker can't use her A3 if nobody's dead. So using those right off the rip is going to be fine. Now, for Nightmare, for Ultra Nightmare, sorry, you're going to want to do the same thing when it comes to Spirit Affinity. Everything else, it's full auto right from the start, right? But you don't need to have, you're not going to have to worry about those. But for Spirit, because we do take a 1 tick of the decreased speed, it messes up the speed tune. So you need to make sure that you make that, that change. So what are we talking about AI setup here? Maneater, prioritize the A3, right? So he's going to always open up with that one, then the A2. Seeker, for Nightmare, we want to prioritize the A2, then the A1, right? Same thing for, same thing for Ultra Nightmare, except just remember that we need to delay this, right? A couple of turns. Godseeker, we could just let her be as it is. Prioritize the A2 is perfectly fine. Rathalos, we prioritize the A1, the A2, sorry, and then the A1 afterwards. We turned off the A3. As for Septimus, you let him do whatever he wants. It's not going to be a problem. The couple of things here is on the speed tune, Seeker has to have that perception and speed set to try to get to that 215 speed. Now, let me go ahead. I'm going to bring up the Deadwood website. So here is the speed tune. The thing you're going to want to make sure is this right here. The speed tune for your 2 damage dealers is going to be very, very tight. It needs to be between 191 and 191.25. If it goes any higher than that, it will fail. If it goes any lower than that, it will fail. You have a little bit of a playroom with your reviver. So if you have Cardiel, you can use him, right? But for the most part, this is pretty much it. Maneater has to strictly be at that 254 speed, right? Can't be 255 or 253. So it's a very tough Finaly build. When I was looking at it and it said that, you know, difficulty-wise was extremely difficult to be built, I was like, I got this. No, it really is. I probably spent about 3.5, 4 hours trying to make sure I had everything right before I started building this team. But I think overall, it's definitely a fun team to play with. It's definitely a fun team to have. And it's got a lot of potential, especially for this account as it starts to grow. That said, guys, if you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, consider subscribing, and do let me know down in the comments down below what you think. And make sure, if you have some time, swing by on Sunday and watch us for the Knights of Teleria podcast, where you get myself, JR Star 3, Nacho Plays 50, Gestel Gaming, Jarrett Gaming, along with Final Compachi, where we talk everything Raid Shadow Legends, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. I'll catch you guys next time.